Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Good morning. It is Monday. This is the start of the cover design diaries. So truth be told, it is Monday. This cover reveal, oh, I just spilled coffee everywhere. Hold on. Okay, cleaned that up. So, like I was saying, truth be told, it is Monday today. The cover reveal for Trial of Flame and Wings is Wednesday. So that sounds like a decent time, like a good chunk of time to finish things off, except because I'm releasing the cover publicly on Wednesday, it goes to my Patreon community Tuesday. So today is actually the last day that I have to work on this cover. And not gonna lie, I have not even started it. And that may sound real reckless and stupid, but I have been thinking up this concept for a very long time. I picked the image out a very long time ago. I think I actually have several picked out for the next few books. I've just been waiting to purchase it because that's just how I am with buying things in general. I'm really slow to buy things. I'm a bit of a cheapskate. So I always give myself space. And if I'm still thinking about that item or thing in a couple days time, especially like this in like a month or two, then I know for sure that I really want it. So I gave myself that space kind of with the same philosophy, thinking if I am still thinking about this cover design idea and nothing else amazing strikes me, then we're gonna go with it. And I have played in like Canva and stuff with some other ideas, but this is it. So that is what we are going to be going with today. I know all of that sounds like a little strange. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you guys the images in this video. This video is, to a large degree, the actual cover reveal for Trial of Flame and Wings. So I am going to tell you a little bit of the backstory. I'm gonna take you guys along with me as I work on the book, or the cover. So yeah, it'll be a good time. So that is what we're gonna work on first this morning. And then I'm gonna go back to editing the book. I decided to try something a little different. Normally I do my edits in my Google Drive and I just make comments and stuff and I try to read it in one go. And then I come back to the comments after I've read through the book. This time around, I think I'm gonna make my comments and highlights in my Kindle. So I'm going to try that. I definitely want to do a proofread in my Kindle with all the formatting and everything done from vellum just before we hit go. So when we do art copies, I'm going to go through as well. I'm also thinking about opening up my ARC reader form again and collecting more people and maybe going through and taking out some people who are not as active in my ARC form. So I don't know. We shall see. I also feel like I should be giving my ARC readers a discount and I should be giving them like a yearly, I don't know, drop my subscription to Patreon real low for my ARC readers. I think that would be really fun. So we shall see. We shall see. But to begin, I'm going to pull up Photoshop. Well, actually, let's pull up Deposit Photo first, which is where I'm purchasing the image, and I will show you guys said image. All right, well, I'm having issues getting Photoshop pulled up. I think I'm going to have to go through and make a little more space on my computer, but I did purchase and download the cover image. So you want to see? All right, so far I added our cover image. I actually flipped it because I told you guys earlier, I want to use it as a wrap, and the section I wanted for the actual cover did not allow for that. So I flipped the image. So now the castle's on this side. I added our text. I'm using the Brilliant font with the Garamond for my name and the series title. I'm thinking about, instead of saying Trials from the Great Mother Book 1, just leaving it as Trials from the Great Mother. No, I think I'll leave it like this. Trials from the Great Mother Book 1. I think I will do that. I don't know. I think maybe I'll put, I don't know. We'll think on that. But right now, I really like the text. I am between wanting to add more dimension to the title here. Right now, there is absolutely no additional details to it. It's just the flat text. There's no dimension added. What I kind of like, though, about it is I sort of like that it makes everything kind of like go together painting like, is what I like. I don't want it to be, I want it to look artsy in like an older style. Like I want it to look like if you hang it on a wall, it's something that someone could have painted all together and not like layers. And so I may leave it like this. I kind of like that there's not a lot of layering to it. I don't know though. But I decided I am going to go with this kind of stacked text style. And I think that is something that will be on all of the books in this series. I just like, it's great, big and large, and it still lets the background image behind it sing in these like pastel colors. I just think it's really pretty. I've played with a bit of the color on the text. I think I'm going to stick with the white and leave it white throughout the entire series, just because I know white will tie together with some of the images that I haven't fully decided on, but like a collection of the images that I enjoy. I think they're all from the same artist, but they all work with the white text. I'm worried that if I change the color of the text to something different, like maybe to tie in this, I don't know. I'm afraid I might lose the look of it, but I'm still playing with the text. So I don't know. I think I might go look at some of the books on my bookshelf to see like similar fantasy novels, see kind of what their texts look like, if there are similarities to this, because again, you want your text, you want your cover image to match the genre and what's popular. You want it to look like it goes. You want people to look at this cover and go, yep, that is a fantasy novel. And so, yeah, I may go and compare here in a minute and decide if I want to add some layering to the text. And I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll leave this text white, and I don't know, I'll bring some of like this color back here, maybe some of this color into this. And then that's something that I can take into subsequent books and it'll still look similar enough. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So I'll check back in a minute. Okay. I went and I looked at other books and I think I've decided. I think I am going to leave it the way that it is. And I think what I may do is export it as it is and do some like thumbnail testing digitally to see what that looks like compared to some other books, and maybe send it to a couple friends for their thoughts and go from there and decide if that's the official version, because I can always edit and stuff as we go. So that's what we're going to do. All right. I'm done. I finished the cover design for Trial of Flame and Wings, the Kindle version. I have not done the paperback wrap yet. I probably won't even touch it until I have a final page count to do that. But I do know what that's going to look like. I already kind of told you guys in this video that I plan on using the full image and wrapping the entire book in it. It's going to be gorgeous and beautiful. So I want to do that rather than like create a different spine. I just think it looks really pretty when it's connected that way. And I did want to give this sort of like a landscape painting-esque feel. And so I want to continue that with the paperback cover as well. So we will do that at a later date. I probably won't like record that process. In the past, when I've done these kinds of cover, I have a couple where I learned Photoshop and such, and I showed you the entire process for that. So if you're interested in that, there is a video on my YouTube channel in the past where I learned Photoshop and I made 2 book covers. So that was super fun. Things I have done since talking to you guys, so I finished the cover and then I uploaded the cover image to Canva. So I had it there and I uploaded it to BookBrush. BookBrush, if you don't know, is a site where you can create those really pretty flat lays. So it looks like your book's sitting aesthetically on like a coffee table and such. You can also make covers in there. You can do all kinds of things in there. So there's more options than just the flat lays, but that is what I primarily use BookBrush for. I have a yearly subscription to BookBrush. It was about $100, I think, for the year. So I have that, and I used that cover mock-up flat lay option to create a couple images to do cover reveals this week. So you can, there have a couple options where like the cover's cut off so you can't quite see what it looks like, but it gives you like a glimpse of what it might look like. So I got one of those so that I can do some fun cover teasers and then an actual cover reveal using the same image, just 2 different versions of it, which was fun. So I got those. So that actually fills up 2 days of social media for me, although I am going to put an extra, so it'll be like a bonus post early this week also. So that'll go tomorrow more than likely. I don't know, maybe I'll actually just do a carousel for it. Maybe I'll just combine them. That may be better. I don't know. We'll see. But I got images for social media. Patreon gets a lot of this bonus content tomorrow. So what I want to do for Patreon is post this video early for them so that they have this fun thing to watch along with. Hi, Patreon members. In addition to revealing the cover to them early. So that means since I have a teaser image, I'm going to go ahead and post the teaser image today to Patreon. And then tomorrow they get the cover reveal. But publicly tomorrow, the teaser image goes out publicly. And then the cover reveal in this video officially launched on Wednesday. So hello to you guys if you are watching this on YouTube when it went live on Wednesday. Welcome to my channel. Some other things I thought would be fun to include in this video. I just asked Instagram. I just put one of those question boxes up and I said, hey, I just finished the cover design. What are some things you'd like to know? And the number 1 question I got is, how did I learn to do this? And there is another author tuber here on YouTube. Her name is Mandy Lynn, and you should check her out. And she offers a couple different courses. She's, in addition to being an author, she is a graphic designer. She does cover design for other people as part of her business. So I looked into her, and she runs a course. I heard about her course through yet another author tuber, Bethany Atazada, who talked about it, took her course, and then filmed herself learning how to do Photoshop and creating her own cover. And I definitely recreated a similar thing here on my channel where I took Mandy Lynn's course also, and then I recorded myself creating those 2 covers, my very first ones. And now I do that more regularly because I get questions all the time about my covers when I mention that I do them myself. So that is how I started. I took a Photoshop course through an author specifically. And I did that because rather than getting like a master class for Photoshop, which was also beneficial, I have done some things like that since. Photoshop's YouTube channel is also very helpful, but I decided to start by going through her course because it was author specific. And in it, she shows you how to design like the Kindle cover and also the Kindle wrap, and how to find and use the templates you need from whatever retailer you are uploading to. So if you're putting your book on Amazon, she tells you where to find the specs for the Amazon cover download it for your specific book, and then use that to create on Photoshop the image. I already knew how to do some of that because in the past, the cover designer I used required that I just send it to her rather than telling her the specs and her doing it herself. She directed me to the site so I can put in all of the like basic kind of like metadata. I could go ahead and put in the specs, the trim size, all of that into that so that I was ready to go, download it, and then I would just send it to her. So I already knew how to do that, but a lot of people don't know where to find that. And so that is something that's included in her course. And for that reason, since it was so author specific, I started there. So go check out Mandy Lynn here on YouTube. That was helpful. Somebody else also mentioned that because I had said something about it taking a lot of time and being kind of pressed for time to do the cover design. Somebody asked me why I just don't hire that out. And I used to. Up until like a year ago, I hired the same cover designer to do all of my book covers. And I loved that. I loved their work. I loved the cover designer. I really did. And it was something off my plate, which was fantastic. However, it added a lot to my budget. And so I knew very early on by the second book I published that was a skill I would love to sort of slowly learn along the way. And so that's kind of what I did since that point. And I didn't jump on the full bandwagon to try it out until this last year because I had a little bit of extra time. The book I was working on was the omnibus for Guardians of the Sixth Gate. So the book was already done. I only had to do the cover. And so if I needed more time to do the cover, then I could just push out the publication of that book because it was an omnibus. The book was already done. And it was just a special edition, so that could go out anytime. So it was the perfect project to start with. So if you are in a position and you'd like to learn Photoshop to do your own book covers and save some money as well, I would maybe start with doing some kind of a collection or a special edition volume. If you have a series already ready to go or like a duology, because it allowed me to have more wiggle room. And then if I figured out that I couldn't do it myself, which was something to consider, if I tried it and I figured out that this is not a skill I have, this is not a skill I'm going to be able to learn with everything on my plate, then I could just scrap it and not have to worry about having told everyone this book's coming out, or having written this brand new book, especially, and then needing to figure things out. I just scrap it. And if I wanted to come back and do a special edition of it in the future, then I'd hire somebody. But yeah, so that was part of my decision. Yeah, it was a fun project. So I would do it that way if you have that ability as well. I kind of forgot what our question was. Oh no. Right. So the question was, why not just hire somebody? Because it can be very expensive. Cover designers are 100% worth the money. Do not misinterpret what I'm saying. They are absolutely worth the money. And a lot of people do not have the skills. I don't even know if I necessarily have the perfect skills because what I do in Photoshop is still very limited. But I will say it's the vibe that I kind of enjoy anyway. And if I was publishing something more involved that had some different fantasy elements or vibes, I would probably hire that out. But for what I am doing and the way I envision my current covers, it pays off for me to have learned the skills myself and purchase the cover image and do the subscription of Photoshop than it does for me to pay for somebody to do just a singular cover. It's something that I have continually now. So that is what I do. Plus, it's just really fun. Another question I kind of already answered a bit earlier in this video was what inspired the cover. I said to you guys that I wanted the cover to be kind of a work of art in its own and in kind of a traditional sense. So when I say traditional sense, I'm thinking painting wise. I wanted it to be able to embody the elements of the book, but in a way that could kind of stand on its own as well. And the settings are a really big deal in this, as settings usually are in fantasy books. And so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to bring the settings out and showcase them on the cover. So when I began shopping around and kind of looking at cover images, I had already had the idea to showcase the setting anyway. And so it made it really easy for me to find this final image. So I found it really quick. And then I found out that the artist had a bunch of other ones in a fantasy style that were very similar, which was perfect because that was the biggest concern, was if I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this kind of landscape style, I want to ensure that continuity exists between all of the book covers. And so finding something that, finding images online that I could piece together was almost more important than finding just this one for this book. So when I but when I found that first image for this book, for Trial of Flame and Wings, the first thing I did was I clicked on the creator, and I was happy to see that they had more pieces similar, but with different settings. And I was able to find images that looked like the settings from my book from the series that I would be highlighting eventually. And so thankfully, because of that, I've already been able to piece together what the next few books will look like, at least for those cover images. And so thankfully it all came together, or is coming together, and hopefully it will continue to come together. So I wanted it to be painting-esque style. There are some other fantasy books out there where this has been a common thing, and that definitely first piqued the idea to me to replicate a scenery focus rather than like a character focus in the book cover. And so that is why I chose to do that. Some of those books are like Sarah J. Maas's new covers of Throne of Glass, that series. I loved those. I also loved that there were little Easter eggs in it. And so I was really hoping I could find images where I could maybe include some Easter eggs in the scenery. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I also don't know if I'm skilled enough to layer enough images that way. I may be able to, but it is something that maybe in for future books, I can add those additions to. But I really like those covers. It just shows you a scenery of some sort. You know where this is taking place in the book. And I just think they're gorgeous. And so one thing I thought about in looking at those books, especially her series and other series books like that, what I enjoy about it is when you pick it up or when the next one launches, you know where this is taking place because it is literally on the book cover, which is kind of like a fun Easter egg in itself. And then you can sort of piece together maybe what's happening based on the previous book's details. And so it gives you kind of a lot of, like, you can infer a lot just from that cover because it is the scenery of all the action versus just like a vibe check, like another one that's really popular in fantasy are doing sort of like collage style and interweaving elements in with really pretty text. I love that. I do have a future project in mind, and I would love in the next few years if I could build my skills to learn how to do that myself, because it would be super fun. I think that kind of style of a cover, if it's still in style at that time, would be perfect for that project. I just don't know if I have the skills for that, so we'll have to see. That's a few years away anyway. But I was really inspired by Sarah J. Maas's covers of Throne of Glass to bring in sort of the scenery element, especially because this is an epic journey. This is one of those books similar to like Lord of the Rings where they travel basically across 2 different realms in this book. And so the scenery does change drastically and does have a giant impact on the storytelling. And so it made sense to me to focus on that. So I drew inspiration from the way some of those other books were laid out. Originally, I had the text in the bottom. Here we go. Like Curse of Wings and Darkness, because that's always how I have structured my books. And so it's a bit of like kind of a staple in my world. And I do like this, but my concern was making sure, because I'm publishing the Curse of Wings series, the same time as I'm pursing the Trials from the Goddess series, I wanted to make sure that my readers could tell that they were two separate series. And so that is why I made sure the branding was there with Curse of whatever versus Trials of. So that helps. But I also wanted the coloring to be different. So everything Curse of Wings and Darkness is going to be darker like this and moody because it's a darker book. And everything Trial of Flame and Wings is a little bit more like painting-esque and lighter for sure in color elements. But I also decided, since Trial of Flame and Wings is going to follow like a pattern with the title, and I thought it'd be really easy to change the text in that one. And so I made it even more different from this book by changing the style of text and stacking it nice and big across the front of the book and doing more of like a feature of the text there. So there's that. Now I feel like we're just getting really rambly here. There were other questions, but we're just going to leave it at those because I want to reveal the cover now. So now I present the cover of Trial of Flame and Wings, the very first book in the Trials from the Great Mother series. So here's that. I am super pleased with it. I'm really excited. I kind of like that everything has sort of a 2D feel to it. It looks like somebody just painted this and put it up on the wall somewhere. I think it's gorgeous. And yes, I will show you guys the wrap when I have that finished. I probably will not do a video detailing everything from that because it'll be similar to this, and I've already told you guys how I plan to create that and what that will look like. So yeah, there will just be a different kind of a reveal on my social media accounts. So the cover, there it is. There you have it. There's another episode in our Cover Design Diaries series. So I hope this was enjoyable. Cover design is something I get asked about enough that I think I'm going to go through and put all of those videos in their own kind of playlist here on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in it, make sure you like and subscribe below. Go look for that playlist because I'm hoping to have that up soon. I just think it would fit. I plan to do this with every of my subsequent books, so I should have their own little cover design series. It's fun. So there's that. Follow me on social media because I'm doing all of the cover reveals and more fun things there. I'm very active on social media. You can find all of those links as well as links to my books down in the description box. And if you want to get early access to all of these kinds of things, just like my Patreon members got the cover early and this video early, then go check out below the link for my Patreon account and maybe join. I don't know. You can be a member for free and get some announcements like the public announcements without having to pay for the subscription. Or you can subscribe for just $5 and get all kinds of fun exclusive things there. I'm planning to showcase a ton of this book, maybe even publish a lot of it or all of it to Patreon chapter by chapter like I did for my winter book. So it's fun. Yeah. But that is all. I need to get back to editing Trial of Flame and Wings, the book. So thank you guys for watching. Read books, be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.